Yo, what's up guys? It's Noah here. In today's video, we're going to be breaking down the NBA slate on Draftkings and Yahoo for Tuesday, March the 22nd. Got a shorter Tuesday slate, just a 4-game slate today. And real quick, I do want to let you guys know that today is actually my birthday. I am turning 23 today. I mentioned this in my stream on Monday, that my birthday was on Tuesday. I won't be streaming today. I did want to get that out of the way. Since it is my birthday, I'm going to dinner later tonight or Tuesday night with my family. Normally I do stream on my channel an hour before lock. It's a Q&A based stream. You come in, you can ask questions, I'll answer them. Whatever it is, lineup specific questions, prize picks, we get them all answered. But I won't be doing that today since it is my birthday. Still wanted to get a video up though. I do still plan on playing the slate. I'm still going to have some action. I'm always, a guy that likes to have skin in the game. And even on my birthday, I'm probably going to be playing. So I did want to break down the slate for you guys. Talk through, like we always do. Go through each game, talk through each team, kind of give my early thoughts, what I do like, taking a first look at the slate on Monday night. And then as we go through each game, we'll build out an early core, just talk about 5 players that do specifically stand out to me at first look. But again, before we get started, guys, please, as always, hit that like button down below if you have not yet. If you are new to the channel, hit that subscribe button as well. We are getting very close to 25,000 subscribers. And, obviously it would be awesome if we could hit 25K on my birthday. Don't know if we will. I think we're about 30 subscribers away. But if you are new, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I do really appreciate it. Also, check out the sponsor of this video, Prize Picks. So Prize Picks, if you're new and you have not checked them out yet, they are a player prop-based DFS site, so it is very simple. You're just picking the over or the under on players' projections. They do already have some projections posted for Tuesday night. They got some fantasy point projections posted. They also have, points props, rebounds, assists, points, rebounds, assists added together, three-pointers made. You're just taking the over or the under. It is very simple. You have to make at least 2 picks, but you can make up to 5 picks, and you can win up to 10 extra money on Prize Picks. If you guys want to sign up over there, make sure to use code NOAH. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. As always, appreciate Prize Picks sponsoring these videos. They've been a huge supporter of mine. They've definitely helped me out a ton, and I appreciate all you guys that have checked out Prize Picks, that have signed up with my promo code, because that goes a long way in supporting me and supporting my channel. And again, if you're new and you want to check them out, you can sign up with my code, promo code NOAH. But yeah, guys, 4-game slate today. It's my birthday. Maybe the DFS gods will bless me with some good luck today. I wouldn't mind if the DFS gods want to let me win a GPP today, or maybe my Prize Picks entries, if they want to let me win all my Prize Picks entries. I wouldn't hate that at all. But let's talk through these 4 games. We're gonna start off with the Golden State and Orlando game. So on the Golden State side, looking at the Warriors, this is a pretty appealing team to target right now, especially just because Steph Curry is out, and that just kind of opens up more usage for everyone. The price tags, I will say, like on DraftKings, they have kind of adjusted for Curry being out. Klay Thompson's over 8K now. I think at 8,100, Klay doesn't really stand out on this slate. I mean, Klay obviously has much more upside without Curry. He took 22 shots last game. He's going to have the ball in his hands plenty. He's going to take plenty of shots. But I just think it almost over 8K. I mean, it's going to be really hard for Klay to justify this price tag. He's going to have a big scoring game. He's going to have to put up 45, 50 DraftKings points to be worth his salary. Does Klay have that upside? He absolutely does. But I don't think he really stands out. I think Jordan Poole at 7,400 looks pretty appealing. So Jordan Poole last game without Steph started in place of Steph as we expected. Played really big minutes as well. 36 minutes, had 39 DraftKings points. He's another guy that's just going to take a ton of shots when he's out there. He took 21 shots last game against San Antonio. Was also able to chip in with 5 rebounds and 3 assists. Him and Klay are kind of similar point per minute players. When you look at their rates this season with Steph off the floor, and we're getting a little bit of a discount going down from Klay to Poole. I think Poole has just as much upside as Klay, and he's cheaper as well. So I really like Jordan Poole at 7,400. He is probably my favorite play from this Warriors team, and definitely at first look, he does stand out on this slate. Now on Yahoo, he's a shooting guard, and he's $25 on Yahoo. I think he's way too cheap over there, so I definitely going to be targeting Jordan Poole today for sure. He did stand out to me at first look. I think Andrew Wiggins gets a boost without Steph, and if you want to go to Wiggins, I don't have an issue with it. At 7,100, I think he's kind of priced where he should be, whereas I think Poole should be closely priced to Klay. So I think Poole should be around 8K. I think we're still getting a nice discount on him. Wiggins at 7,100 feels priced about right, but I definitely think his upside is a little bit higher now that Steph is out. The rest of the Warriors it's really hard to get excited about anyone else, though. Draymond's on a minutes restriction right now. He did get ejected last game, but again, they're going to only limit him to 25 to 28 minutes. I think they said 28 minutes is kind of his max right now. So if Draymond's only going to play 26, 28 minutes, don't really see any interest in him at 6K. Otto Porter, I mean, off the bench probably plays like 25, 30 minutes. He did have a big game last game, but I think he might have benefited with Draymond getting ejected. You could argue that Steph being out, helps Otto Porter. I mean, it kind of helps everybody. Steph just is such a high usage player that getting him off the floor is going to allow for, everyone to get a little bit more opportunity. But I'm not super excited about the bench guys. I really think the main guys that I'm looking to from Golden State are Clay, Poole, and Wiggins, and definitely Jordan Poole is my favorite play from this Golden State team. Now, on the other side with Orlando, Orlando, they're kind of another team that they've gotten priced up a lot, especially like Wendell Carter Jr. Now, Wendell Carter Jr. has been playing really, really well lately, coming off a 59 DraftKings points game against OKC, played 31 minutes in that game. Don't love this matchup, though, against Golden State. There's a good chance that he gets guarded by Draymond here, and I'm just not super excited about the spot. I think the $8,400 salary is appropriate for Wendell Carter. Obviously, his role is really good right now, and he's playing big minutes on a nightly basis. He's been producing at a really high rate. He's been crushing. He's been stuffing the stat sheet. But man, at $8,400, like you're really paying a premium for Wendell Carter now. So not super excited about him. Cole Anthony at $6,300. I mean, it's just been mediocre lately. We just haven't seen much of a ceiling from Cole Anthony. I mean, you can look at his game log. Just a lot of games like 30, 32 DK points. I mean, the last time he put up over 40 DraftKings points was February the 16th. It's been over a month since Cole Anthony has scored 40 DK points. I mean, he's most nights going to live in like the low 30s, which is fine, but that's really not, you're wanting more than that. And I don't think, Cole Anthony really stands out. I think he does benefit without Jalen Suggs, and Jalen Suggs is out again. But the ceiling we haven't seen it from Cole Anthony. Franz Wagner at 5,600, I don't hate. He's going to play like 30 to 32 minutes if this is a close game. He's been very inconsistent this season, but, the potential for Wagner to have a good game is always there. He is one of these guys that can do a little bit of everything, can score, can get some rebounds, can get some assists. Did have 30 DK points last game, even though he shot the ball pretty terribly. The game before that, shot the ball really well, had 37 DK points. For 5,600, I think Wagner might be my favorite play on Orlando when you factor in price tag. Mo Bamba is a good point per minute player, but his minutes have just not been that great, so he's a tough guy to trust right now. The bench guys I don't see much interest in. RJ Hampton should start in place of Suggs. The last game he started and only played 24 minutes. Even in the games he has started, he hasn't been great, so I'm not super excited about RJ Hampton. Assuming he starts again, I don't think he's going to be someone I'm really looking to roster. Don't love this Magic team, but I definitely think my favorite play here, if I had to pick anyone, probably is going to be Franz Wagner at 5,600. But let's move on to the next game, talk about Atlanta and New York. So this should be a really fun one. I think this is a national TV game. Obviously, these teams had a lot of bad blood in the playoffs last season. Trae Young, what he did to the Knicks last season will definitely be remembered here. I think this could be a little bit of a narrative. I don't look into narratives too much. I don't think narratives matter that much for DFS. Like you can't really, you can't base your projections off of narratives. But obviously Trae Young going into the Garden to face the Knicks. I mean, this is definitely a game that Trae is going to probably want to get up for and play really well in. I know these teams actually did play in the Garden on Christmas Day, but Trae was not playing then. So this is actually the first time that Trae has faced the Knicks in the Garden this season. Again, they did play on Christmas Day, but Trae wasn't healthy. And then I think they did play in Atlanta early this season. But yeah, man, big time, narrative here with Trae going back to the Garden. Obviously, with what he did last season in the playoffs, bowing in front of the crowd, the Knicks fans were saying, fuck Trae Young. I mean, this is a game I think Trae will try and get up and play well for. Now, is it a great matchup? I don't think so. I mean, the Knicks defense has been decent. The Knicks do play really slow. But I never mind going to Trae, and obviously on a 4-game slate, we don't have a ton of pay-up options. I will say, though, that for this to be for it to be a 4-game slate, I mean, we have Jokic, we have Giannis on the slate. I think Jokic and Giannis are my two favorite studs by far, and I think I'd rather get up to those guys over Trae. But I think Trae will be fairly low owned, and the upside's definitely there. I think this could be one of those games where he just decides to really take over. So I definitely think Trae's in play for tournaments. Clint Capella at 6,400, is a decent play. He should continue to play around 30 to 32 minutes a night, especially while John Collins is out. Matchup against the Knicks is not great. The Knicks are a pretty good defensive team, especially down low against big men. They haven't really allowed a lot of points in the paint, so I don't think this matchup sets up super well for Capella. But again, he's a good point per minute player. He's going to play probably 32 minutes. It's a 4-game slate. It's not like we have a ton of options anyway, so I think Capella is definitely in play. Bogdan is currently questionable, so this will be something to monitor. If Bogdan sits, I don't think it has too much of an impact, Just gives a little bit more minutes for maybe Kevin Huerter, maybe DeAndre Hunter, maybe DeLon Wright plays a little bit more. But when Trey's healthy, Trey's going to really dominate the usage on this team, so I'm not going to really look to anyone else on Atlanta. Outside of one guy, I do want to mention Danilo Gallinari. So Gallinari, 5,100 on DK. Obviously has been starting in place of John Collins in the minutes that, or in the games that John Collins has been out lately. And you can look at the games that Collins has been out. I mean, Gallo's been playing around 30 minutes a night. 40 actually played 41 last game against the Pelicans. I don't know why he played so many minutes, but he did. The game before that against Memphis played 30, against Indiana 28, against the Clippers 30. Ever since Gallo's been inserted into the starting lineup, he has been a true just like wild card. You never know what you're going to get from Gallo. He can put up 40 DraftKings points like he did last game. He could put up 20 DraftKings points. I mean, he's been a very inconsistent player. He's kind of a scoring dependent player, but at 5,100, he's going to play probably 30 to 32 minutes. He's a decent point per minute player. I'm kind of interested in Gallo on this slate, especially because we don't really have a ton of great pay down options. Like when you're looking for plays 5K and below, on this slate, at least right now, there's not much that really stands out. So I'm kind of interested in Gallo at 5,100 on DK, and he's pretty cheap on Yahoo as well. He's only $15 on Yahoo, so I think Gallo as a first look option does make some sense here. Obviously, without John Collins, he should once again be in the starting lineup. Should play 30 to 32 minutes. And I think it's definitely a solid option today. That's probably it from Atlanta. I don't really see anything else I'm gonna go to on the Hawks. Now on the Knicks side, Julius Randle at 9K. No issues with Julius Randle, but I would definitely say he's like my fourth favorite stud on this slate. I would put Jokic ahead of him. I'd put Giannis ahead of him. Probably would put Trae Young ahead of him as well. Julius Randle, he's been very inconsistent this season. We saw that stretch of games for Randle. It was like a 2-week stretch where he was really, really good. He was putting up like 50 DraftKings points a night, was playing really good ball, was consistently putting up just good games. Since then, it's just been a roller coaster. I mean, the last 4 games, 32, 45, 44, 39. Had that massive game against Memphis, went for 69 DraftKings points. Had a 67-point game against Sacramento. Then he's had a bunch of 33s, 35s, 36. Like, he's been very up and down. The ceiling is always there for Julius Randle. He can put up a big game any night. Does he stand out on this slate, though? I don't think so. My favorite play from the Knicks is definitely RJ Barrett. So RJ Barrett, 7,600 on DraftKings. I actually like a good amount on this slate. And on Yahoo at small forward, definitely one of my favorite small forwards at first look. $32 over there. He's kind of expensive, but it's honestly worth the price tag. Makes sense. Like, I think he's worth the price tag. I mean, you look at the minutes that RJ Barrett has been playing. He's played 40 minutes or more in 5 straight games. 5 straight games of 40-plus minutes for RJ Barrett. Tibbs just like, he's running RJ Barrett into the ground right now. He's playing in 40-plus minutes a night. I don't see any reason why, if this game is close, we don't get 40 minutes from RJ Barrett. I mean, even in a game against Portland where they won by 30, RJ Barrett still played 40 minutes in a game they won by 30. Like, he's just getting a ton of run right now. His production's been there. He's been, taking a lot of shots. He's taking 20-plus shots a game. That's now 5 straight games. Basically, in this stretch of 5 games that he's played 40-plus minutes, he's also taken 20-plus shots. He's going to get some rebounds. He'll get a few assists. He can always get a couple of defensive stats. He's a guy that can just do a little bit of everything. The scoring's been up for him. The shot attempts have been up. The minutes have been massive. At 7,600, I think RJ Barrett's a pretty solid option here. He's someone I do have interest in. He's probably my favorite play on the Knicks in general. And then the rest of the Knicks, like Alec Burks and Evan Fournier, I just never play. I mean, these guys they can have good games every now and then, but, most nights they're just going to put up like 20, 25 DK points, and they're, just not worth it. Fournier, we've seen have massive ceiling games at sometimes this season, but when he's not hitting a ton of shots, he doesn't really do anything else. So in order for Fournier to have a big game, you just got to hope that he shoots the ball really well, which he always can do, but not super high on Fournier. Mitchell Robinson at 5,400. He's another guy that, when he gets minutes, he can be productive. We've seen him have games where he gets, a lot of rebounds, a lot of putbacks. He can get a double-double. He can block a ton of shots. He's had some, big ceiling games this year. He's also had some, very low floor games. He's a guy that does get in foul trouble a lot. His minutes sometimes are always not as high as you would like. The matchup against Clint Capella, I don't think is great or anything. But if you told me that we got 32 minutes from Mitchell Robinson, I'd like him a good amount at 5,400. I'm just not confident that he plays 32 minutes. I think he could play 25, 26. Does he play over 30? It's tough. The minutes have been solid, though, in the games that have stayed close. Like against Memphis, he played 34. The game against Portland was a blowout, only played 24. But against Washington, he played 31. I don't hate Mitchell Robinson. He's probably my second favorite player on the Knicks behind RJ Barrett. And I think that's it from the Knicks. I don't see really anything else I'm super high on from this team. So let's move on to the next game of the Bulls and the Bucks. So looking at the Bulls today, you got the big three here with DeRozan, Vooch, and Zach LaVine. I think these guys are definitely playable, especially because their price tags have come down a little bit. Also, this game does have I think the highest total on the slate right now. 231 total in this Bucks Bulls game. Milwaukee favored by 5.5. So this is a game that Vegas is expecting to stay close. It's a game that is expected to be high scoring. I don't have an issue going to one of the main Bulls guys. I don't think I'd play like two of Vooch, DeRozan, LaVine in the same lineup. I think if you're going to play one of those guys, you just want to play one of the three. I would definitely not play two of the three, and obviously would not play all three. But we've seen that these guys can put up big games any night. It's just tough to predict when you're going to get a big game from them. On Monday against Toronto, you had Zach LaVine put up 46 DK points, played 35 minutes. Vooch put up 43 DK points in 33 minutes, and the DeRozan, I think he was a little bit disappointing. He had 41 DK points in 35 minutes. So all three of the Bulls guys put up over 40 DK points. They all played 30 plus minutes. If this game stays close, which is expected to, we should get like 35, 36 minutes from all three of DeRozan, Vooch, and LaVine. I think given the pricing, I would probably rank them LaVine number 1, Vooch number 2, and DeRozan number 3. But not much of a preference there. All three guys are playable. Would not play them in the same lineup, though. I would probably just pick out one of the three. I think LaVine, with his price tag of $7,500, he might be my favorite of the three Bulls guys. He also did really well against the Bucks earlier this season. For what it's worth, he put up 52 DK points in 38 minutes against them. So I think LaVine might be my favorite of the three main Bulls. But I do want to talk about Alex Caruso. So Alex Caruso actually did start on Monday, and he played big minutes. He played 33 minutes, was not super productive, only had 21 DraftKings points. But we already found out that Caruso is going to start moving forward. He's going to be in the starting lineup moving forward. So if Caruso is expected to be in the starting lineup moving forward, have to assume he's going to continue to play the 32, 33 minutes that he played on Monday. I'm expecting Caruso to get 30-plus minutes here. He's only 4,100. Right now, we don't really have any value on this slate, so I'm definitely looking to Caruso as a value play at 4,100 on DK, and he's pretty cheap on Yahoo as well. So if you want to play Caruso on Yahoo, he's $15 over there. I definitely like him as a shooting guard option on Yahoo at $15. He does stand out as a decent value play at first look. Again, there's not much value today, but with Caruso starting moving forward, I think at 4,100 he's probably too cheap now that he's starting and playing 30-plus minutes. Then Patrick Williams actually did return from his long absence on Monday, but he only played 19 minutes, and they've already said that he's going to have his minutes limited. So I don't think it really matters. He's not really viable in DFS, but at least good to see Patrick Williams back out there on the floor. That's probably it, though, from the Bulls. I think that's everything I'm interested in here. On the other side with Milwaukee, so Milwaukee's another team I'm kind of interested in today. A lot to like here. Giannis right now is expected to play. He is probable. Expecting Giannis to go. I think he did sit out their last game on Sunday against Minnesota, but he's expected to play today. With Giannis expected to play, obviously on this slate, 4 games, he's a top option. I mean, if you can fit in Giannis, he's by far one of the best pay-up options. Choosing between Giannis or Jokic, I think is going to be a tough decision. I slightly lean Jokic over Giannis, but it's really close. Giannis definitely gets a boost today without Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton, I think, being out just allows for Giannis to get even more usage. It's going to allow for Drew Holiday to get even more usage, which we'll talk about in a second. But Giannis at 12-1, definitely have interest in here. Love this matchup for him against Chicago. Like, he's done really well against the Bulls this season, averaging 61 DK points through 2 games against them. I mean, the Bulls just don't have anyone to stop Giannis. They're a team that's really struggled in the paint, allowing a lot of points in the paint, and that's just obviously where Giannis just gets so much of his damage, does so much damage is in the paint. Last time they played the Bulls, he had 67 DraftKings points, played 39 minutes. This is a big-time game. This is a game that should stay close. We should get 35, 36 minutes from Giannis, and with how bad the Bulls have been defending the paint, just with how many points they allow down there, it's such a good spot for Giannis. So I think he's obviously a great pay-up option today. Drew Holiday, though, I do like quite a bit. So Drew Holiday, I think, gets a pretty nice bump today without Chris Middleton, just going to allow for Holiday to soak up more usage. And normally I don't really play Drew Holiday when Giannis is healthy. But when you take Middleton out of the equation, now it just allows for the usage to really condense around Giannis and Drew. And I think those are going to be the two guys that you see do a lot of the heavy lifting for Milwaukee tonight. So I really like Drew at 7,800 on DK. And on Yahoo, I do like him over there as well, $33 on Yahoo. He is someone that does stand out to me at first look. Just expecting the role to be a little bit better than normal. Expecting the usage to go up a little bit. We obviously know that Drew is going to play big minutes as well. If this game's close, he should play upper 30s minutes. The matchup against Chicago, I think, is fine. I mean, Chicago's defense against guards specifically has been improving since Caruso came back, but they still do allow a lot of points in the paint. It's obviously a really good spot for Giannis. Still think Drew can have a big game here, and without Middleton, that does open up more usage for Drew. So definitely like Drew today. Portis, I don't know if Bobby Portis really gets much of a bump with Middleton out, but a playable option. Brook Lopez at 4,400 did start last game, but his minutes have been pretty limited since he's come back from injury, so I'm not really high on Brook Lopez. Do want to keep an eye on who winds up starting for Middleton. It could be Pat Connaughton, it could be Wes Matthews, it could be Jordan Nwora. I will say that if Connaughton starts or if Nwora starts, I'm kind of interested in them as value options, especially because we don't really have any value on the slate right now. Connaughton's a decent point per minute player, so is Jordan Nwora. Wes Matthews, on the other hand, is not. So, if Wes Matthews starts, I'm not going to go there. But I think Connaughton and or Nwora, one of those two guys, if they were to start for Middleton, I would definitely have interest in them for value. And I think even Grayson Allen gets a little bit of a bump without Middleton. His ceiling is, really not that high. He's a very score-independent player. He's going to have to get really hot from three to put up a big game. But at 4,300, don't hate it. Obviously there's definitely a narrative here with Grayson Allen facing the Bulls after what he did to Caruso. I don't think that really matters for DFS today, but it's, I guess, at least worth noting. But yeah, that's really it from Milwaukee. I think we kind of talked about everything here. So let's move on to the last game of the night, the late night hammer, the Clippers and the Nuggets. Looking at the Clippers today, this is not a team I'm super high on. We saw last game the Clippers just got absolutely blown out by Utah. A lot of the starters played half the game. Reggie Jackson only played 15 minutes. He got benched. Marcus Morris got benched. I think Zubac got benched. I think most of the starters, didn't really play their full minutes. Now, the price tag for Reggie Jackson did come way down to 7,200. Obviously, we cannot expect him to play 15 minutes again. I think we should expect Reggie Jackson to get back to playing 34, 35 minutes here. So if Reggie Jackson plays 35 minutes, with the price tag down to 7,200, Reggie Jackson, he was 9K. He was almost 9K, a week ago. Now the price tag's come way down after a bad game. I actually kind of like Reggie Jackson today, especially with the price tag coming down. I'm definitely interested in him. Zubac in this spot against Jokic, I'm not super high on. Zubac has had some good games against Jokic in the past, but I don't think on this slate I'm going to really be looking to Zubac. Marcus Morris at 5,600, assuming his minutes go back to normal today, if he plays 35, 36 minutes, the upside's always there for Marcus Morris when the minutes are there. We've seen him put up big games whenever he's had good minutes. We've also seen his minutes be way down. Last game he got benched. The game against Atlanta, he did get ejected that game. But the last week or so, his minutes have been pretty good in the games that have stayed close. So I think if the Clippers keep this game close, we should get 34, 35 minutes with Marcus Morris. And at 5,600, probably my second favorite play on the Clippers is him, behind Reggie Jackson. But Terrence Mann, Hartenstein, Covington, I don't really think I'm going to anyone else on this team. The Clippers, they're probably one of the least appealing teams on this slate. I don't see a ton that I really like here. But I did want to mention Jackson and Morris just because I think those are my two favorite plays from this team. And then on the other side with Denver, Nikola Jokic at 12-4 obviously is a solid pay-up option today. He's probably my favorite pay-up option. I think I do slightly prefer him over Giannis, but it is really close. Love this matchup for Jokic going up against the Clippers. The Clippers allow a lot of points in the paint. They've not been a good defensive team against centers this season, and we've seen Jokic just dominate against the Clippers. They've already played 3 times this season. He's averaged over 70 Draftkings points per game against the Clippers. I can actually look at the game log, and let's see if I can find the 3 games he's played. So looks like they played the Clippers on January 19th. Jokic had, that was the game that went to overtime. He had 93 DraftKings points in 41 minutes. And then they played another time. He had 73 DraftKings points in 38 minutes. So 73 and 93 DraftKings points in 2 games. What about the third game? What did he do in the third game? I'm guessing that one was not as good. I might have missed it. I might have skipped over it. But yeah, he's had 2 massive games against the Clippers. And the third game I can't find, but yeah, I think it's a great spot for Jokic. Oh, there it is. 50 DK points in 37 minutes. But I think it's a great spot for Jokic. The Clippers can't defend big men. Jokic should just dominate here. He's the best pay-up option on the slate, in my opinion. It's just a matter of, what kind of value are we going to have today? Are we going to be able to fit in Jokic? That's really the big question. But the rest of Denver, outside of Jokic, it's always tough to go to these other guys. Will Barton, Aaron Gordon have just been so mediocre. They're just they never really offer much upside. You can look at the game log for Will Barton. He hasn't scored over 30 DraftKings points in a month. It's just he's just been average. Aaron Gordon, kind of the same thing. You look at his game log. He's had some good games in there, but just a lot of 22, 17, 28, 15, 19 DraftKings points. I know game log isn't everything, but when Jokic is healthy, Jokic just dominates the usage on this team, and it's really hard for the rest of these guys to put up big games. You know, on a 4-game slate with not a ton of other playable options, sure, you could go to Will Barton, you could go to Aaron Gordon, but they're not guys I'm super high on. Bones Howland, his price has come way up, but it's kind of warranted because he's been playing really well off the bench. At 5,300, though, it's hard to consider Bones a great play just because his price tag is so high. I think that's it for Denver. Like, I don't see much here that I'm super high on outside of Jokic. Jokic is the one guy from the Nuggets that I obviously really, really like today. But yeah, guys, that's it for this little 4-game slate for Tuesday. Again, guys, appreciate you watching the video. Hope you did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button down below. Hit that subscribe button as well if you have not yet. Go check out the sponsor of the video, PrizePicks. Again, sign up for PrizePicks. Use code Noah when you do. They'll match your first deposit up to $100 when you do sign up with my promo code. And you can take a look at what PrizePicks has to offer and make some picks for Tuesday night's games. Take a look at their board, see what they have available. As always, if you sign up, make sure to use that promo code so you get that deposit bonus when you do sign up. But hey, guys, 4-game slate tonight. Hopefully, since it's my birthday, the DFS gods can bless me with a little bit of luck today. I wouldn't mind, getting a little lucky tonight. But anyways, guys, appreciate you watching. Hope you did enjoy, and we will see you in the next video. Peace.